Today we're celebrating the Simpsons with this Marge Simpson cake. It is pretty awesome, so let's get started. So we're making Marge Simpson today, guys. Now I posted a video of my buttercream palette for my Sonic the Hedgehog cake, and I asked you to guess which character I was creating. The buttercream I showed you was blue and beige, but a lot of people thought I was blue and yellow, and you guessed Marge Simpson. So I thought it'd be kind of cool if I just made a Marge Simpson cake. I've always wanted to make one, but I just thought it would be too tall for my fridge. So I made some adjustments. I'm excited about this. Let's get started. So I'm starting with my PVC pipe system, and this cake is actually going to be all cake. I know, right? Oh my gosh. Most of my most recent cakes have had a lot of styrofoam. When I use styrofoam, I throw away less cake, and I don't have to build the bottom part of each figure with Rice Krispies treats. But this cake is all cake. Now, because I know this is gonna be a super tall cake, I am using 4-inch round cakes. I was gonna do 6-inch, but that means that I'm gonna have like ½ inch layer of buttercream all the way around, and so that's like a 7-inch cake, which would make this like super high. So I'm starting with a smaller cake so that this can actually fit in my fridge. My 4-inch round cakes are dyed yellow and blue, which are the colors of Marge Simpson. I'm using 5 4-inch round cakes in total, and then the last one is a 4-inch half dome cake to create the top of Marge's hair. So for my Marge cake, I printed out 2 pictures. I printed out a picture of Marge from the front and from the side. And I also made sure that these were 3D representations of Marge, because originally she's a 2D animated character. So the side profile helps me figure out like all the bumps of her hair, how far out her nose goes, and her like upper lip. So I know all of those dimensions. And then the front helps me understand the spacing between her nose and her upper lip, and then like her 2 eyes. And I think this is wrong because in the show her eyes touch, but all the toys and the 3D renderings of Marge, her eyes don't touch. But maybe they know something that I don't. Now this version of Marge is the Lego version. The Lego version is like the smallest of all the toys that I've seen online, but the pictures that I was able to find of it are so clear. Also, I just like the way it looks. Some of the other toys, oh gosh, they did a terrible job. Now my cakes are stacked. I have my template. I'm gonna put my cake in the fridge to set up, take it out, give it a crumb coat, and then add my yellow buttercream to create her face. Now this was easy because I know Marge so well since I've been watching The Simpsons for so long. So automatically I gave her an overbite, the best looking overbite I've ever seen. I added buttercream to the front, a little bit of yellow buttercream to the back, and then I used a piping bag to create her nose. So this is the Marge cake so far. You can see I already started to sculpt her nose. I'm excited about this because it's so simple. With the Doctor Strange cake, it's like I gave myself a time limit and then it didn't even matter, because if I'm not happy with it, it doesn't, I just can't stop working on it. This is just a very simple shape. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna be able to meet all my time requirements. There's gonna be no going over. The only thing that I can see holding me up is trying to figure out if I can actually make her eyes touch and have it look normal. I think the 2D animation really didn't translate to 3D. Also, you guys, I didn't think about her neck or like her shoulders. So underneath this buttercream is just saran wrap that I bunched up and then wrapped around my cake stand. Now, I covered it with buttercream, you can't tell. It's really ghetto, but that's what I did. Now, using sculpting tools, I started to finalize Marge's face. So I started with her nose and gave it a nice round shape, and then I started to work on her smile. I'm just shaving away buttercream on the side of her face and making like a U shape. I also realized that I made her face a little bit too wide, so I had to shave off some buttercream on the sides as well. I smoothed out the buttercream as much as possible. It looks like fondant. This silicone makeup applier, oh my god, it is a dream. This is really how I got this smooth texture. So I've created her eyes with fondant. I'm going to be placing them here, and I really hope I can make them touch, but but I don't know. Don't know why none of the 3D renderings have the eyes touching. Now today I'm going to be working mostly on her hair, and I need to sculpt this a little bit because her hair goes back, not straight up, which means I need to shave it down here and add a little bit of buttercream so that I can give it a tilted look. First things first, I'm gonna cover up her beautiful face. Beautiful face. Just like that. And then I'm just going to slice a little bit of cake away. When I was happy with the curve, I added blue buttercream to the top of my cake. It's a very thin layer because there's going to be a ton more buttercream going on. I was also very careful not to mix the blue with the yellow. I didn't want to see any green buttercream where these two colors met. And to make sure that didn't happen, I actually made some placeholders. I created these fondant pieces to go right in between both. And these might be placeholders because once I'm more comfortable with adding all of the blue buttercream detail, I might remove these, but also I might not. It all depends. It just depends on whether or not I think it looks good. After I added my placeholder fondant, I added white fondant to create Marge's eyes. And then I used black fondant to give her some beautiful eyelashes. I did this carefully because black fondant can stain, especially on really light colors. Alright, so this is Marge so far. You can see that I exaggerated her smile a little bit. I gave her some buttercream shoulders. That's just a bunch of buttercream on the cake board. I was wrong. You guys, her eyes don't touch, not even in the 2D version. But because the Simpsons are usually drawn at like a 3/4 angle, it looks like their eyes are touching. Then I saw Marge's mugshot and it's like straight on and you can totally see that they don't touch. So this is correct. Now I made some green fondant to create her dress, but it doesn't really go that far down. However, I am gonna use the red fondant I created to give her her necklace. I'm just gonna stick it onto the buttercream and I hope it sticks. After that, it's gonna be all about her hair. Now I'm going to use a piping bag to create all the balls that make up Marge's hair texture. But I wanted to make sure that they were all the same size and that the placement was right, so I used a round cookie cutter to give me a nice template. Then I use a piping bag with a large round tip to create some nice big balls. Nice big blue balls. I did clean these balls up a little bit, but I like the texture of the balls. Oh my gosh. Get your mind out of the gutters, you guys. We're talking about Marge's hair, alright? After I finished, my Marge Simpson cake was complete. It's finished. What do you think? Oh my gosh, this looks so good. I can't believe it hasn't fallen over yet. Almost all of this is just buttercream because I really didn't want it to like stick straight up. I carved so much cake here and then I added a ton of buttercream here. Once this buttercream gets soft, it's over. This cake is gonna fall down. But for now, it looks really good. This wasn't as hard as some of the realistic face cakes that I create, but shaping her face was a little difficult because it's so simple. Now I started off with making a Lego Marge Simpson, but then I started to like contour it a little bit just so that I could make it look like Marge in the TV show. The yellow that I used to create Marge was a little too green, so I painted it over with this like yellow luster dust that has an orange tint, and it made such a big difference. Now I'm curious, would you like to see me make more Simpsons characters? They're definitely not going to be as hard as this one. And instead of having to deal with two different colors, I'll only have to deal with yellow because Bart, Lisa, and Homer are basically one color. I want to do more. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know in the comments what character you'd like to see me make next, and I'll see you very soon. Bye.